आपको बराह रास्त लिए चलेंगे। वजीरखارजہ बिलावल भुट्टो जरदारी इस वक्त ग्रुप ऑफ फ्रेंड्स के इफ्तताही इजलास से वर्चुअल खिताब
Resolution number 76/227 on countering disinformation for the promotion and protection of human rights and fundamental freedoms. This was the first formal effort by the UN member states to develop an agreed international response to the scourge of disinformation. This group of friends has been established to promote the implementation of that resolution. We are grateful to all countries who have joined this group, and they represent all the regions of the world. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, utilizing this platform, we should agree on an international plan of action to counter disinformation online and offline in the public and the private domain. I would like to suggest the following actions. First, we should enhance public awareness about disinformation through information campaigns promoted by member states and the United Nations and build societal resistance and resilience against disinformation. Second, we should enhance the capacity of governments and their relevant institutions to detect, analyze, and expose disinformation and disinformation campaigns and networks. To this end, the United Nations and its agencies should help to build the capacity of member states, especially the developing countries, to analyze, fact-check, and filter information, especially online information. Moreover, financial and technical support should be extended to national and international researchers and institutions which are involved in the detecting of disinformation. The United Nations Department of Information can play a critical role in this context. Such a concrete international effort can help to expose and dismantle disinformation networks. Third, we should make a concentrated effort through cooperation to minimize the negative impact of disinformation on human rights and relations between communities and states by building firewalls against false information, ensuring transparency, adhering to human rights principles such as respect for personal privacy and reputation, preventing the propagation of racism, discrimination, and hate speech. The United Nations can develop a compendium of the best practices and guidelines for actions, including through the use of advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence, to serve as guidelines for national and international action. Fourth, the United Nations human rights mechanisms should highlight the negative impact of disinformation, also exercise due diligence in the use of unsubstantiated and questionable information in the evaluating of human rights situations. Fifth, the United Nations should develop rules, standards, and regulations for adherence by the private sector, social media companies, and other non-governmental actors. Sixth, to discharge its extensive role and responsibilities, the United Nations Secretary General should create an interagency task force on disinformation and appoint a focal person for regular and ongoing interactions with member states, the private media, and online companies and stakeholders. Finally, the United Nations, perhaps through its Committee on Information, should open a comprehensive dialogue led by member states and with the participation of the private sector, business enterprise, media and social media platforms, and civil society stakeholders to develop a coherent consensus on international cooperation to combat disinformation. I wish the group every success.
بلاول بھٹو زرداری گروپ آف فرینڈز کے افتتاحی اجلاس سے ورچوئل خطاب کر رہے تھے.